Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, welcome. This is USA Global TV and Radio, and our show today is coexistence and sustainability. Our topic is hot. It's pets and fireworks, how to keep your furry friends safe. Let's welcome to the show our star, pet psychic AMINAH. Hello.
Yay. Hello, star of my head.
It's nice to be a star, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We all should be. That was a tooth fairy thing, I think, I would go with. Then when you're little, it's like, oh, I got money.
Well, in our lives, we have some furry friends who are the stars in our home. And as you know, here in the United States, we're coming up on a big holiday, actually on Tuesday. And there's a lot of commotion, celebration, and of course, fireworks. So, before we get into that, tell us a little bit, AMINAH, about why coexistence and sustainability are important topics, and at the same time, fireworks and pets. It's you're very diverse.
Absolutely, because the world needs that, and we need to go with what is. Look at how diverse our channel is just here. There's so many topics that need to be covered and that are really important. So what I really want everybody to hear is animals aren't as simple as, oh, you have a dog, you take him for a walk. Oh, you have a cat, you kind of ignore him and hope they come sit in your lap. All of these really wonderful things. People have birds of paradise. They have macaws, they have parakeets, they have snakes, they have all types of animals are now being kept as pets. And turtles and all kinds of things depending on where you live and what is legal. What I want to really, really encourage everybody is think about, from the pet's perspective, what do you think firecrackers going off and all the noise and all of the destruction that sounds really horrible to a pet, and what to do to save lives, as far as let's talk about how to keep them safe on a very, very loud, busy holiday. You might not be putting off firecrackers in your neighborhood or behind you. There's so many places now that it's illegal because of fire safety. In California, we have had that many, many times where fireworks were only allowed by professionals, by the city entities that were regulated, and they were in a parking lot, no trees around or that kind of restriction. Animals truly suffer during this time. And that's why I'm so advocating so much of, if you have pets, please make choices that keeps them in the house, in your bedroom, under your bed, whatever they feel is safe. Please listen to what I said. Whatever makes your pet feel safe.
All right. So I thought there would be more. Feeling safe.
There is tons more, but my goal in life is not to not have a conversation with you. As a public speaker, we don't usually have to give up the podium for 6 more minutes.
Right, very true.
And I in college I won an award for my public speaking, and it's just because I've done it my whole life. I'm the 5th child of two teachers. Guess what they do? Talk all the time. And you get to the place where I want to hear, because I know you're coming in with new ideas and new questions, because no matter how long we've been together, it is always, I'm trying to throw you a curve, or I want to look outside the box. Not every person holds their pet in the same status, in the same room, the same kind. If you have a tarantula, he doesn't care about 4th of July or just pretty much anything. So what's the next bug coming by? But all the other animals you have, horses, dogs, pigs, cats, all of the lizards even, they are not going to do well with all the noise that's about to come.
That's a great point, and you just made me think, what about the animals? Like, we're on an island here and there are a ton of bunnies. So the animals that live in your neighborhood, are they affected by all the noise as well?
Yeah, we don't have the statistics that could be accurately, I throw out a number of how many animals are killed. Either they've run in front of vehicles because they were startled and scared. This happens to stray pets too. This happens to stray pets all the time, because they are running. Something frightened them. I don't have the statistics for this last year's for fireworks, but I know every year the Humane Society and many organizations like them come out with how many pets are lost. First number, lost pets due to fireworks, due to the noise. And the second number, which is just a tad lower, are the ones that die because they've run out in front of a car, they've run away from home, and they're too afraid to come back because they don't understand that this isn't coming from their house. This isn't coming from the people that they live with. They have no idea, if you want to put it that way, who to blame. Who do I blame that this is, but this is just horrific for their health and well-being. And if you can do anything, enjoy the 4th of July, but pick a different modality. It's antiquated, I think, in us just thinking, oh, there's only fireworks. I think it's great. Go out with the city, someplace where it's regulated. And when a city does it, they're doing it out in a field somewhere. That doesn't mean there's not pets that are within hearing range. This stuff is pretty loud. But can you imagine that would be better than every single house or every third house setting off firecrackers all night long?
Very true. I'm very patriotic. I've never been a big fan of fireworks because you read stories about people setting them off. They're losing their limbs, their hands, their fingers. I think about the air pollution from it.
And the trash.
Yes.
Because you're burning all this and then you leave half of it.
And
because you, who's going through the bushes and going, oh, there's a piece. Ooh, there's a piece. It's like hunting stamps. The paper ones we used to stick.
Yes, stamps. But I'm gonna here where I am. They are basically setting them off in the water. They have barges out in the water, and then all that goes into the bay
water
and the ocean and everything else.
And because it's so clean now.
Right. Exactly. Hey, by the way, I wanted to let you know that we just came out with our 4th book from the Lady Ella series.
Yay.
And it's called The Ocean Calls and Lady Ella Listens. And I bring it up because it's all about ocean pollution. And one of the animals gets stuck in a net that a fisherman left. And so the animals have to work together to free this animal. And so I just brought it up because we talk about
this. It's perfect. No, it's perfect because what we're talking about is coexisting. You brought it up in the beginning. You got the right word. What is coexisting? Well, coexisting is not scaring the crap out of your neighbors. And if they're people or animals or whatever, you have to think about, how do we get through the world together? not how do we get through the world, me, myself, and I, because that's really lonely and it's not sustainable. You can't possibly make enough food, have enough energy as far as power, electricity, gas, all that kind of stuff, all by yourself, unless you plan to go and live out in the middle of nowhere, like in Australia or in the desert or someplace. But you have to rely on somebody else to have that food, have that energy. If we keep destroying the planet with just, oh, we should always get to set off fireworks. With the technology today, that just seems antiquated. In my mind, it seems antiquated. Why are we still lighting things on fire? And the fire departments are running around like crazy for a week because so many people do it before, and then kids find things that they weren't set off after. It becomes a really life and death, not only for the animals and the insects, but for people. I can't tell you the statistics. I didn't look at what last year is. That's a really depressing search on how many houses people burned to the ground and had the losses of, hopefully not life, but it does happen. We've got to find a better way to celebrate. We got to find a better way to be in this world, because we're living global warming. We're living our choices of overusing and saying, well, but I want to do that. Can we change that mindset? Yes.
We definitely can. We definitely can. And I know when the fireworks are taking place, I don't even go down to the beach. Everybody runs to the beach. People come in the island just to go. I'm like, no,
yeah.
We do have a graphic that I wanted to show, and maybe we can take a look and review what's on here about fireworks safety. So keep your pets secured inside your home. Even dogs in fenced yards find ways to escape the scary sound. So let's just take that one. So you decide, okay, I'm going to keep the dog in the yard. I'm going to keep them fenced in. They're out back. They're fine. Thoughts?
No, they're not fine, because fireworks are the quintessential boogeyman jumping out from behind the bush. Or you're walking in a dark corridor and you're going, man, I can't see, more than the nose in front of my face. It is terrifying to not have any. Let me put it this way. If you and I went shopping separately, I went to my shopping center, you went to your shopping center or whatever, and we needed something desperately at the store or whatever, and it was pitch dark and the light in the parking lot is off and we're alone and we don't own a gun, not that we want one. Do you see this scenario? This is what animals are going through. They're like, what the heck happened to the planet in the last 12 hours? And sadly, people typically, hopefully this year will be different. I say that every year. We hear people putting them off 2 days early, 3 days later. It's like, oh, I bought them, I might as well put them off. So what happens is you are traumatizing the natural world over and over. It's the same as if somebody pulled a gun out and just started shooting it in the air. And we all understand the sound of a gun, even if you've never been shot at or shot one, you understand, you've watched TV or something. We understand that our body reacts in that fright or flight. So an animal can do the same thing, exactly the same thing. They're like, oh, I don't know what that is, but I'm out of here. If everybody in the 50-mile radius, probably even further, is putting off fireworks at their house, at their park, at their church, at their synagogue, whatever, where do the animals go to be safe? Especially if you're a bird. You don't live in the ground. Some of the snakes can go to ground if they find an empty hole. But there's so many animals that can't. You got horses and dogs and goats, and I can't tell you how much the ranches and having owned a horse for years how much we had to put them in the barn, keep them calm, put a lot of hay down so they didn't injure themselves on the side of their pens. I just think this doesn't have to be. We're far too intelligent now to understand that just because you want to do it doesn't mean everybody should get to do it.
Exactly. Exactly. We have the ability to use common sense. Let's check out the second one. Give them a safe place to hide. Set up a comfortable room or crates in your house just
Right.
for them.
Right.
Yes. Let's read all of them and then we'll talk through them. Use ambient noise to mask the noise. A radio or TV playing comforting music works well.
Yep.
Update their IDs and microchips just in case. Skip the celebration and stay at home with them. Sometimes your presence makes all the difference. And keep them busy. Treats, toys, like I can't read what that says, can help distract them during the display. And the website is thatpetplace.com for fireworks safety for your pets. Let's go over to the ambient noise to mask the noise, putting on something that is soothing.
Yeah, it can be anything between just white noise. If you know what that is, it's kind of like not, but it is. So it's something that goes, from what I understand scientifically, goes more energetically. But there's also lots of things you can do. Let me give you an example. I had a client that had small children and their pets, and guess what? Their dog would dance around when the kids put on a specific children's show. You might not even know the name of this show.
I don't know it.
Barney and Friends.
Oh. Wait, is Barney purple?
Barney, if anybody doesn't
Barney
know, is a
purple?
big purple dinosaur, teddy bear. I don't know what he is anymore. It's been too long since I've been there. But what they found is that since their kids go and watch this show, when the animals, are sitting with them or walking by, and the kids are happy, they're excited, they're clapping with Barney, they're, because Barney's teaching things about being safe or whatever the theme is. This giant purple dinosaur stands up, little hands down here. And the animals get all that positive energy. They see the kids laughing and rolling around on the floor with Barney and singing with them. And it was just magical to see and work with people that had found what worked for their family. And when you have that good, happy, wonderful, balanced energy, use it. Use it. If your pet is really, really struggling with all the sounds, they make little earmuffs you can get on it and it'll muffle it. It's not going to, animals have pretty great sense of hearing. So you have to watch that. And there's not like a place you can escape to. I don't know, maybe there's an island or something for all people who want to take their animals, but there are places that they aren't allowed. Some of the cabins in the forest, I know we would go up to a place called Big Bear, and they were all banned because of the forests there were so natural and a fire waiting to happen. So all of this would be banned. Go to these places. Find a place where your animal feels loved and safe. Now, there are things for animals that struggle on an ongoing basis, maybe not just fireworks, but other things. And they're called thunder jackets. Dr. Jacalyn, I don't know if you've ever heard of a thunder jacket.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, and it's like a big hug. It's like a big hug. And you can start with like an old t-shirt. It's a little bit snug. Be careful about the arms and things on their legs. But those kinds of things, because it's hard to hug your cat or dog or animal like for 12 hours while people are sending things off. But that contact, that calm, find a song that is, I don't know, from John Denver to the Carpenters to whatever lullaby. These things bring the energy down from whatever's going on outside, because there's so many times we can't do much of what our neighbors are doing as long as it's not illegal, but you can in your own home. I just want to empower you to do things out, look outside the box, try something new. The Thunder Jackets, I have read, are very successful for nervous, edgy animals that really struggle with that kind of, not just fireworks, but sometimes just day-to-day living.
Very true. Thank you for those good points. We're going to go back to update their IDs and microchips. People might be like, what are you talking about? It's a holiday. They're in the house. Everything's fine. Why do I need to do this?
Because we lose more pets. Families lose more pets to runaway on the 4th of July, on or before. It is the biggest time because imagine there's no difference between a firecracker and a gun. Nothing. There's nothing but you and I going, wait a minute, that timber's a little different. God forbid somebody's out there shooting a gun. But an animal is hearing gun, 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 gun. They don't understand the difference. All they understand is, this is terrifying. This I need to get out of my way. This I need to run away. And they will run. So even if you get them confined to the house, we've got fireworks going on all around on your neighbor's driveway, patio, unless you live in the middle of nowhere and don't have a fairgrounds or some public fireworks going on within 10 miles, you're going to hear fireworks. You're going to hear something, even just little pop guns or whatever. And that's terrifying for animals. And they run out of fear. And that's how they get hit by cars. And that's how we lose pets. Every single year, the shelters are packed the week after. And I want to say it really goes a whole month after the 4th of July for the United States specifically.
We did speak about this before, but I think it warrants it again. Tell us about the microchipping process, please.
Right. This is such a godsend because collars get lost, tags fall off. And what happens is you will go to your vet. You can go to some pet stores like PetSmart and that type. Some of them, not all of them, also offer this, but all veterinarians offer this now. And there's clinics at shelters a lot of times where you can go for really inexpensive. They're not expensive. I haven't priced them out because they're going to change by location. But we're talking about a teeny, 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 tiny, smaller than your nail on your finger. And they take it, and it's basically the size of a rice is where they're going, just a piece of white rice. And they put it between the shoulder blades and under the skin. Why? Easy access. Usually there's a collar or something maybe, and they fell off. So it's really easy just to scan. And it doesn't necessarily move. It can. It depends on the animal's body. But that will stay, and they'll scan quite a long parts of their body. And what you can put there, your name, your address, the name of the pet, how old they are, the vet's name, hundreds and hundreds of pieces of information, literally, on this little piece of rice, because that's what it looks like. It looks like a little transistor of rice. And our technology is so great now that you can put all that information and it's under their skin. And every shelter in the country, if not the world, is going that way. They have this tool. Looks like a little round circle. Usually they're white. And it brings up that information because they have the ability to read it. And it says, this is Bob and Karen's dog, and it lives on a little street, and the dog is 12 years old, and his name is Ruffy. And you go, oh, Ruffy! And the dog was like, oh, they know my name. All great things to get them back to the family immediately after they're found. So many things. And the sad part is, but the good part is, what happens If your pet accidentally gets out, your yard, whatever, we're usually talking dogs. Cats are another run amok thing, but let's say they do and they get hit by a car and they're killed. Do you know how many families never find out what happened to their pet? They ran away. They got lost, whatever. I don't know about you, Dr. Jacalyn, but I'd want to know. I'd want to know where my loved one was, what happened, and would I be horribly sad? Yes. But that chip gives me peace of mind to say he's moved on, they've moved on to a better place. There's no pain, there's no cars, there's nobody driving over them. I'd want to know. I hope everybody else would want to know, and that would motivate you enough to go to your vet or go to a clinic that the Humane Society is doing. They're doing them all the time. Not only well checks, but putting microchips in your pets.
Is this expensive?
No, it's not. I have never ever seen, because it depends on where you're going. I have never seen one over. I think I saw one for $35. I've never seen one over $35. Really reasonable, because you're basically going to have that in that pet for a lifetime. And every time they go to the vet, they're going to check it, make sure it's readable, make sure it's still there, because like everybody's body is going to change. Sometimes they migrate and they move and it's on the side. That's why this wand goes over their shoulders this way and down the back, because if it moves, they need to see where it's gone. This has given everybody the peace of mind to get their pets back. Because of the collar, it breaks off, the tag rusts, it goes somewhere else. They don't put the collar on. It's not as efficient as having your animal microchipped. People used to even get their animals tattooed. Problem is, you got to know to shave the hair off wherever this tattoo is, because there's usually, most animals have fur everywhere. I know when we did show rabbits, they would tattoo once in a while in the ear. Their ear doesn't grow back a lot of hair. Microchipping is this thing that's really going to save lives.
It sounds like it's an insurance policy, and the tattooing, it might be hard to find it.
Right, and you're going to have to find the vet, or you're going to have to find, the code, or put your phone number. I live at 99934, and it's like, who wants to pay for that call? I mean, with cell phones now, it's not really paying for a call anymore. But remember when we were, how much a minute? You got 30 seconds. Go. Making what we know about humanity. You and I know this. You doing this channel, you really get a front seat of, if we can, we will all wait, and we're too lazy, and we'll get to it. And so next time you go to your vet, hopefully it's this week if you're not microchipped, if you're not already have your animal with a good tag on it, please go check their shelters. They do free and low cost IDing all the time. And we're coming into summer. Please check out these services that will really be economical for you to take advantage of in your area. All you have to do is go online and say pet shelter. Any version of that. Anybody, you can call a vet, yours or not, and say, I'm looking for this. I want to microchip my animal. Do you do that? Do they have one at the shelter? Where can I go? It's that simple to save your pet's life and get them returned. And I can't tell you how many times I have heard, and it's not as common, I've even seen it go to court. And do you know what I mean by that, Dr. Jacalyn? Seen it go to court. An animal is disputed, who owns it? This is another way to prove ownership, because you'll have, most chips have a vet and the owner on it, and it can, and it'll have dates, It'll have a vaccine record, possibly. There's just a plethora of stuff you can put behind that information on the chip. Can you imagine if somebody wanted your dog and decided, I'm going to take that? How many thieves could walk around thinking, oh, I better get the chip out, or I better get it changed? There's a lot of paperwork and a lot of proof you have to do to change a name on these pieces of rice, on these microchips. So it could save you a lot of grief on getting your pet back, even if they're lost or stolen.
It's very true. I have a quick story, which I think I've shared before, but I was out for a run. This is when I was in Florida, and I came across a dog that was just wandering around. And there were so many different developments. I didn't know where it came from. And the dog, I think that on the tag, it said something about the chip or something. I forget how I knew it. So I ended up calling. I think I called the police. I forget who I called, but they referred me to a number, and then they found the owner.
Great.
And called the owner, and then the owner came and got the dog, and they were so happy. The dog had they thought the dog was in the house, and the dog had wandered out of the house, and had it not had that chip, who knows?
Yeah. And everybody is thrilled, and it reinforces something literally the size of a piece of rice, maybe long grain, but still rice. And there you have your partner back. There you have your buddy. There have been cases of people stealing animals, trying to get the chip redone. And you got to get the old one out. And yeah, it's a whole, because these little pieces of rice that are on these microchips, they can travel. The body is not that boring that the muscle just holds it in one place. It can move. So I have actually read case studies of people who are going to court to prove this is their animal. And they have the paperwork that comes with the chip, with the ID, when they did it, how they did it, the vet they used. Let's say you moved away from that area and somebody stole their animal. It is trackable. It can save lives, not only your animal getting back to you because they got lost, or they chased a squirrel and got hit by a car and nobody knew who they were. Collars, they have found, don't do enough. They break off, they get cut off. If you've got a really fancy breed or really special animal in your life, why wouldn't you do this? Just the example you just gave. You can get it back when you don't even know they left.
Right. You know what I want to suggest also is when you're contemplating getting a pet, go ahead and put down how much it's going to cost and just include the microchip right in there. Come up with your numbers, make sure you can afford it. We know how many times we hear people can't afford to keep their pets and then they just leave them. They leave them somewhere to fend for themselves. So this is a living being and we need to be responsible. And I think microchipping, based on everything that you've shared, it makes a lot of sense.
And most shelters, I know 20 years ago when my kids were young and we were doing, getting pets here and there, we would always go to the shelter. And we were told that specifically the dogs, they hadn't really gotten to the cats really big, 20, 30 years ago. But everybody is now doing it because cats run even further than dogs someday and you don't know where they are. But these will be held up in court. The date, time, all the information, because the companies that put out these chips, these little pieces of rice and their information and keep all the backup of it, they are going to have the information about the person who took out the account, about when they paid for it, when they did this, when they did, they're going to have everything. And animals, I don't care if it's purebred or whatever, if you've decided to adopt and have one in your life, make sure they have a driver's license. This is our chip, because then you can prove this is your pet and that you have a history. And or what's also great is we can prevent people who are abusive not having those pets, because that is going to go into a system. And I don't know if they check what they check. I'm not on that side of the business, but there's a lot of really great things coming out with microchipping, and why I wanted to spend a whole show just talking about, please, please, please save a life. It could be yours, because I don't know about you, but my pets are my heartstring. And anytime I want to find a smile, I go look at one of them. I go squish them. I have 3 cats, and all rescues for at different times and for different reasons. We didn't go into a plan to say, oh, we're going to be cat ladies. It was, this one needed a home. This one needed a home. We can do that. And it's wonderful. But I would be heartbroken if I couldn't find them, if God forbid they got out of the house, because they're just in the house. We don't live in a place where running cats is a good idea. And that's another show, but having animals, cats specifically, because they're a different hunter than the dogs, are decimating our bird population. So that's a topic we'll cover for another time. But knowing where your pets are, and the microchip can help you do that. And you can teach your cats to come back. That is the thing. But that's a relationship and a training show yet to come.
And there's a big smile on your face. I love that. I think next week when we come back, we will be talking about how you saved the lives of some birds. You want to tee that up?
We're talking about, oh my gosh, yes. Okay. Sorry, very busy life. And I think I can say all the bruises have healed almost. My arms were literally black all the way up. And what happened is, we have I don't know the type of bird. She stays on the roof. She refuses to divulge her type. And I'm no bird expert as far as breeds. But we have a very confused mother who has her babies on our roof, which is clay tile. I don't know why you'd pick that. That doesn't sound comfortable and sounds very slippery. And now 2 weeks ago, she had her third set of babies, and I woke up to chirp, 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 chirp. And I'm like, oh gosh, we have baby birds again. So I'm going to walk you through this wonderful, wonderful. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. And I'll give out the best secret to come and listen to my adventure. That they came through my my stove pipe that goes with the exhaust, and they drop. Yeah, I don't know where she's laying these babies. This is her 3rd time in our knowledge that the first set of babies 3 years ago, they all died. 2nd year, we got 90%. This year, I got 100%. And the last baby bird jumped into my hand from a pipe. She had to do it with trust. And I get to tell you what happened to them after. You're going to have to come to the show and see what happens.
Woo! Dangle it out there for people to wonder. We have some pictures we'll be showing also for next week. And AMINAH, we also have this flyer. Yay. Tell us about this, and also about your website.
Yeah, bridgingworlds.us. This is what I'm talking about. I'm always trying to bridge the animal, nature, and humanity. So that's my bridge, and that's my website, and also Facebook. I have Bridging Worlds, and what you're looking at is I create these, really have a lot of fun putting all these little posts up on my Facebook page, and right now they're inundated with Happy 4th of July, please leave your pets at home. What I'd love to see is, please have your pets at home in the house, because we lose so many pets, runaways. They're scared because of all the noise. And if you can spend that time with them, it will save their life. Having a thunder jacket, having a t-shirt, whatever works for your pet, but really having you with them is paramount to their well-being. And we really just got to get to a place where We don't need this to happen, or you can help your animal through it. So check out Facebook. I have a lot of articles there on how to help your pet. And one of it is put a t-shirt on. And I mean, when it's a little snug, not of course in the neck or the legs, but anything that is like a jacket and kind of gives them a hug. You don't need to necessarily get a Thunder jacket. It's a brand, but that's a great way to truly keep your pets close with you, not while you're setting off fireworks. Let me really repeat this. Not when you're setting off fireworks. When you're in the house, you maybe watching it on TV, or you can hear it on the outside. Have your pets harnessed. A collar that goes around their neck is a little too detrimental. If they yank or pull, they could do damage to their esophagus because they're scared, and the leash could break. Whereas a harness has a little bit more real estate it's holding on to. So these are the tips. Be with your animals. Try to stay away from the fireworks as best you can with your animals. Enjoy it from the TV perspective. If you're sitting on the couch and you're enjoying it, your animals are going to just ignore the TV. If not now, but eventually. Please save a life. Donate all your money that you would do fireworks to the shelter. The ones that are saving the lives of the animals that end up running away from their families because they're terrified and scared. Not of their families, of just the sounds that are going on around them. We lose a lot of pets to the shelters, thank goodness, but still breaks these families, their spirits, and wondering if their animals have survived all of that noise. It's terrifying. It's terrifying for these animals.
Great episode, AMINAH. Thank you so much for everything that you shared. Let's just put up your banner again. And as you mentioned, people can get you on your Facebook, Bridging Worlds, and also your website, which is bridgingworlds.us. What a surprise.
I try not to be too decent. And if anybody hasn't got it, Bridging Worlds, you get it. Most people, after they talk to me for a while, they go, oh, I get it.
Yeah, I get
because
it.
we've got the people world and we've got the animal world, and I'm the one walking you across the go, no, let's take this road. No, let's go this road. No, don't try the water yet. You haven't learned to swim yet.
Oh my goodness. Well, please stay safe, everyone. Keep your pets safe. Thank you, AMINAH, for being here today. I want to thank our sponsor, the British School of Excellence, Mr. Philip Sykes. We're going to close out with a sponsorship from them, and we look forward to seeing you all back here next week. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye.